Okay, so we're doing a quick live here, and I'll wait for some folks to join. If anybody is out there that feels like joining, so we'll give it a few minutes. We'll talk about, we can talk about New World if you guys want to, because that's the hot topic right now that a lot of gamers are experimenting with. Just did my review, so we can talk about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the guy who wrote this book. Right here, John Peterson. Talk a little bit about him because he's got another book coming out, and we'll talk about that. We can talk about D&D. We can talk about, there was something interesting that was posted today about D&D, about 5th edition, so we can talk about that. So we'll just see if anybody jumps in here. For those of you watching the replay, I've put, I want to say something like 55 hours so far into New World. So I think I'm almost level 24. So we'll see how that goes. The good thing about that is, of course, it doesn't have a subscription fee. So I don't feel like I have to jump on and do a certain number of hours to get my money's worth. So, you know, oh, we got one person in here. Hey, it's Dragon. How you doing, Dragon? Or Mistra? Actually, Mistress. Well, I thought Dragon Spheres, that had a cool name, a cool sound to it. But Mistra sounds cool too. So, yeah. I know you're our Final Fantasy 14 person. I'd be curious to know if you have given New World a try yet. Again, like I was just saying on the intro there, that there's no monthly fee for New World, which is one of the things that I was happy about, because it's like, getting rid of the World of Warcraft monthly thing, and it's like I didn't feel like jumping back in. And no, that's what is that? Your handle. I go by I can tell by your handle when I see it if it's you or not. So, of course, I can't think of it right now, but I know it when I see it. So I just look for your handle. So, oh, I get that. Yeah, it's on my rig. It runs like a friggin' dream. And luckily, I have a 2070 Super card. I don't have a 3000 series, where people, had issues with them overheating and everything. So, oh, you changed the handle to Alex Colors. Okay, well, that's new. I have not seen that yet. Then, okay. Well, I'm sure your stuff pops up pretty regularly, so I'm sure I'll see it when. Let's see here. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, yeah, even your profile pic, everything is different. Okay, now okay, got it. Right on. Okay. By the way, since I got you on here, and I think I asked this question once before, yeah, I think those are perfect choices because, excuse me, if you get above that, like into the 30, 80 cards, that's the ones that are having issues. So, but what I was going to say was about YouTube. So remember a while back, I asked you, I said, are there any ads on any of my videos? Because I'm not monetized. So you shouldn't be seeing any ads. And hey, Chupa. So, and you told me that you hadn't seen any. Well, that one video that I did that got like 800 views, the one about D&D 5th edition that I did, it's got like over 800 views or whatever. I noticed that one has ads on it. So YouTube is playing ads on my content without giving me a penny, giving me nothing. I'm not monetized, so I get nothing. But yet they're going to use they're going to use my content to make them money. Now you want to talk about fucked up. I mean, yeah, if you tell me that you're not going to monetize me until I have 4,000 hours of watched content or whatever, then you shouldn't be able to use my content to make money for the company. But that's what they're doing. So, yeah, it's yeah, that so far that's the only one I know of that they're showing ads on. So, and probably because it got a certain number of views, and then they put it into their little money making system, So, I don't know if Chupa's still in here. It went back down to 2 people, or it went down to 1 person, so he might have dropped. He might be back though. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't assume gender. I think Chupa's a he, but I shouldn't assume gender. So, okay, yeah. So the count that I'm getting is never accurate because both of you guys are in here and it's only showing 1 person. Now it just went back up to 2, but yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I got to get with the 2021, I got to remember not to my niece makes sure to remind me, don't assume gender, and I got no problem with that. I want everybody to love life, however they want to love life. And so there you go. So anyway, we got a couple of you in here. I don't really want to get into I wanted to show that. Well, I can show it again. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So real quick, while I got both of you in here. So the guy that wrote this book, John Peterson, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. He is literally the expert. Now, first of all, let me say, I'm not getting anything. He doesn't even know that I'm talking about his book. I met him one time at an event a few years back for the 50th anniversary of Gen Con. I met him. He probably met 200 or 300 people that night, so he has no idea who I am. But so anyway, he doesn't know I'm going to talk about this, but I'm going to plug his next book because this guy is so good. Anyway, he wrote this book called Playing at the World, and that's how freaking big this thing is. It's huge, and it's basically a history of gaming, and I mean everything. He starts with like chess, and he even goes back further than that. I think it's a Chinese game of Go. It's just called Go. Is the oldest game in the world. That's supposedly the only oldest game. It was the first game ever of any, like a tabletop game type of a thing. Anyway, but he goes through that, and then he explains how everything evolved to get to the point where tabletop gaming became wargaming, and then wargaming became D&D because of the guys like Major Wesley who came up with the idea of role playing and putting role playing into a tabletop game. But he talks about the whole damn thing in here. That's why the book is so big. Anyway, what I was going to tell you guys is he's got another book coming out October 12th, and it's called, if you guys are interested, because you can pre-order it. I've already got it pre-ordered. Let's see if I can find it here. It's called Game Wizards. Excuse me, The Epic Battle for Dungeons and Dragons. And I've got it pre-ordered. And the reason I'm telling you guys about this is his stuff sells out. So if you guys are interested, that one is $25 for that book. Mistra, yes. I think that there was old D20s that I want to say either the Romans or the Greeks or the Egyptians that they found or whatever. But the Chinese game of Go, and I could look it up or whatever. I forget. He puts all the dates and everything in there. But the reason that this guy is so good is he searches archives everywhere he can, and he finds even the like handwritten notes about Dungeons and Dragons back in its infancy, and all the he has correspondence that even the old guys that are still around from when it was created, they'd even forgotten about, and he'll pull out these little artifacts and stuff. And anyway, his stuff's really interesting, and I don't want anybody to to get shut out if they're interested. I wanted to give everybody a free shot and say, hey, his stuff is still available for pre-order. Because I think somebody said you can't even find this, and you can't find it's out of print, and it's hard to even find it now. So anyway, so that was all I wanted to talk about on that. Again, I don't know the guy personally. I met him one time, but he doesn't even know who I am. So, but if he does see this, John, if you do see this, and you and you want to buy a T-shirt from me, to help me out, I wouldn't say boo to that. I mean, right on, dude. That's but I doubt he'll ever see this. So yeah, my Baldur's Gate 3 videos got ads. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny how they won't monetize. To me, that's chicken shit, and I'm saying that right here on YouTube. And they know it. It's like you tell me you're not going to monetize me, but yet you recognize that my content gets some views, enough views to where you're going to put ads on it. And yeah, that's oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So they wait till it gets to it, whatever their algorithm says, and then they throw ads on there, whether they're paying the creator or not. So anyway, so that's just a little tangent there, but yeah, we got oh, and then the other thing that dropped, I saw a thing that dropped today about, I think it's right here. It's about D&D, and let's see, I scrolled down to find your stuff. Let's see if I can get back up to it. Oh, I bet Twitter refreshed on me. I'll bet that's what happened. Damn it. Anyway, there was a note about D&D Digital. They have a new logo, it looks like, and they're looking for like a project lead or a project manager or something like that. They advertised today. And it said the wording was something like, excited about where D&D is going to be going in the future. And then it's got this new logo, Dungeons and Dragons Digital. And what was interesting about that is when I saw that, I remembered back to that video that I made like however long, a week ago or whatever it was, where I talked about all the 5th edition stuff that was announced. And one of you guys commented below in that video that you wouldn't be surprised if 6th edition was purely digital. And I thought, wow, that's a hot take there. But maybe it's not. I mean, all of a sudden they got this. They're advertising for a new person to lead up this thing, and they got a new logo for D&D Dungeons and Dragons Digital. That's a little interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess from a profit standpoint, I guess they could make enough profit where they wouldn't have to worry about printing the books anymore. And yeah, I wouldn't. I didn't think I'd ever see it in my lifetime where there would no longer be D&D books being made, regardless of whatever edition it was. But with that, what I saw today, it makes me think. So whoever that was that made that hot take, I might even be able to go back real quick and see if I can find it, because I sure would like to see who said that and see if they happen to pop in here today. Let's see here. Let's scroll down here real quick. See who was that. There was quite a few comments though, so I don't want to take too much time doing this, but let's see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. It was Hall King 74. It says smart idea that it's 5e compatible, but because no way I'm buying all the books in a few years, I'd bet true 6th edition will be all digital, and you'll have to pay a monthly fee forever to access and play it. Hall King 74 might be a prophet. He or she, I don't know who they are, may have predicted that announcement that we saw today. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It could just be that they're going to have a subscription-based service, digital, and they may still offer the books for when sixth edition comes out or whatever. But it is definitely a hot take. So, um, yeah, and again, yeah, Mister, I can't imagine not having the physical, version of anything. But that sure was a cryptic thing they put out today. If you go to the D&D Twitter page, you'll see the announcement there. So, um, if I was good enough at this and could figure out how to pop that onto the screen while I'm doing a live, if I could figure out how to do that, I would show you guys. But IP config, howdy. Let's see here. I think one-time pay for physical or digital version. See, what I think is that if you buy a physical copy, there should be a way where the books are sealed. They've got some kind of a sealed thing on them, just like when you buy uh, what do you call it? A card for like a gift card, and it's not until it's activated where somehow they got to have it sealed. They'd have to have the book sealed where they couldn't break the seal, and then inside there's a code, just like we used to do with our old video games, a key that you'd put in to activate. And I think if you buy a physical edition, I think there should be a key inside, a digital key in there, that then you can go on to like D&D Beyond, put that key in, and then you get the PDF as well. Or at minimum, it should be a discount coupon when you buy the physical copy. So let's say you buy the physical copy for $50 and then you want the PDF and it says, okay, here's your key inside. And with this key, you only pay $5 for the PDF or something like that. I mean, who knows? IP config, Windows 11 update. Now, did you read the PC Gamer article about Windows 11 and the fact that it's expected to hinder gaming performance by as much as up to 25%, because there's some kind of features that Windows 11 is going to have in it, and it's going to be a resource hog. I don't know if you saw that, but there is here. Let me see if I can find the article, and I will put a link right into the chat if I can here. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. See, PC Gamer readers choose to wait on installing Windows 11, and we don't blame them. There's that one. And then Windows 11 review, we like it, but you shouldn't be upgrading today. So if you just go to PC, there's a couple different, I'm not going to link them because there's a couple different articles to pick from. But if you just go to PC Gamer, you can check it out. And yeah, and I'm not saying that there aren't conflicting reports out there, IP. There may be. I was just going by what I saw on PC Gamer, that there was going to be something that was going to chew up some resources. So you might want to wait, but again, it doesn't hurt to read them just to get some information. So anyway, let's see here. So yeah, so again, I would go and read, because they do give all the information, the pros, the cons, everything on PC Gamer, on their website. I would just do that research, because they're saying they like it, but they're not ready to switch yet because of what I talked about. So, well, don't forget, guys, if you haven't already gone and looked at the T-shirt on my merch store that says, "Congratulations, Microsoft, you made another piece of shit." That was a quote from me in one of my videos, because I got pissed off when Windows 10 bricked my other machine. Upgrading it, doing the upgrade to Windows 10, bricked my other rig. So it didn't install the settings app at all. So I had no settings app, so there's no way to do anything with it. Yeah, I I wish I could revert, but because I don't have a settings app on this old rig to revert back to Windows 7, I would have reverted back to Windows 7, but literally it's a brick. Can't do anything with it. Now I could format the hard drive. That absolutely would probably fix the problem, but I didn't want to do that. So at some point, I'll see if I can. It may, if I fire it up, it may try to update to Windows 11 on its own and just skip 10, and that might fix the problem. So who knows? We'll see. Windows 7 for gamers, as far as I'm concerned, by far was the best operating system. But the other thing that they did with Windows 10 that pissed me off is, I don't know if you guys remember, but with Windows 7, there was a separate program you had to get called Windows Movie Maker if you wanted to edit video for like doing YouTube videos and so forth. And it was a great little program, and it was a free download from Microsoft, Windows Movie Maker, and it was simple, but you had all these cool features for transitions and effects and all these things you could do. And when Windows 10 came out, they discontinued it. And they said, oh, well, that's because it's integrated now to Windows 10, and it's called, whatever, photo and video app, or what, it's the Windows photo and video app or whatever. And they do in fact have an editing thing in there for video in Windows 10, but it sucks balls. It's horrible. It will hang when you're trying to edit a video. It'll just freeze up on you, and you got to fucking start from scratch again. It does all kinds of wacky, and it does not have all the features that Windows Movie Maker did. And that was the one where I said, congratulations, Microsoft, you made another piece of shit. Getting rid of Windows Movie Maker and replacing it with what they have in Windows 10 is what I was talking about. So, yeah, that was a while back, mister, about the Microsoft related games not playable. That was, oh man, that was going way back. Yeah, because you had to have games for Windows. You had to have Microsoft games for Windows separately. And in order to, in Steam, you had to log into games for Windows separately in order to play. And some of the older titles, they wouldn't launch and games for Windows was no longer available at a certain point, because it was no longer, again, it was phased out or whatever. And Steam still thinks that it's looking for that or whatever, and you can't play them. Now, I don't know, that was a while back, so they may have fixed all that stuff, but there was a time there where, yeah, absolutely, there were games that, if it was looking for games for Windows, because you had it forced you to sign in to log in through Steam. So you had to log in twice. You had to be in your Steam account, and you had to log into games for Windows. Those were not working. Now, they may have fixed it. I haven't gone back to check, but it's possible. So that was another fuck up by Microsoft for gamers. This is all stuff I'm talking about. It affects gamers. As far as the rest of the productivity, like Excel, Word, and all those things, I've had very few problems ever with that kind of stuff. But when it comes to stuff supporting gamers and our hobby, Microsoft has sucked. Yeah. So now, again, people that play Xbox might disagree with me, because I guess they've done pretty good with Xbox. So people are pretty happy with that. So anyway, for those of you that are in here, cheers. If any of you are having an adult beverage. So, all right. Yeah, I use Notepad. I use Notepad for all kinds of shit. It is the best, one of the best programs ever written, because you can literally, like, if I have a thought in my head and I just don't want to forget, like for a plot hook for D&D back here, from when I DM, I'll just pull up Notepad, type it in real quick, save, boom. Now I have a folder just of those ideas that I dump in there, and it's so fast to just use Notebook and do that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things Microsoft ever made. Yes. So IP, yeah, being able to boot to DOS, absolutely. And so if you remember IP config, do you remember stuff like Dr. DOS and Down and Dirty DOS and all those different versions of DOS that you could get? Yeah, some of those were even better. Oh yeah. But I also still have my Commodore 64 back there where you had to do the old star 8 run, that whole thing just with an old floppy. I still have that and it still works. One of these days, maybe I'll do a video about that. I'll fire up the old Commodore 64 and and I'll actually do a video of. I'll have to have my wife film it or whatever, of me operating the old Commodore 64 with the dual floppy drives I've got, and everything. Oh yeah, still got that. Still got my old Intellivision, my old original Intellivision there with the IntelliVoice, the voice synthesizer for B-17 bomber and all that. And I've got my Sega Genesis over there, my original Sega Genesis. Yeah, I don't have some of my old consoles didn't make it, but hey, White Rhino. Yeah, I've got a Texas Instruments. What was it? TI 499. I've got that in a box somewhere. I don't have the cords for it, and it took special connectors on the cords that I don't know if I'll ever. But when I was thinking about doing that, about trying to get that thing working again, that was way before eBay was a thing. I could probably find those cords now if I actually did a search. I'd probably be able to just find the cords and get that TI 499 Texas Instruments working again too. So, oh yeah, we're talking retro stuff. We're talking current stuff. Whatever, what anybody want to throw out a topic, we'll talk about it. I don't care. So, yeah, we're beating up Microsoft pretty good. So, one thing I've never done is I've never tinkered with Linux ever. I've never, I've heard so much about it and everything, but I never took the full dive and said, "Oh, I'm going to do a Linux partition or whatever and use that as an operating system." Never done it. So that's one thing I cannot speak on. So how many? We got 6 people in here. Anybody in here playing New World? Anybody else got good or bad to say about it? Because I gave it a good review. I'm enjoying it. For right now, they got to fix a bunch of shit, but I'm as far as is it a fun game? For me, it's a fun game, so I gave it a good review. It's got problems that they got to fix, but we'll see. I have seen a lot of people with negative reviews as well. So yeah, if I ever decide to take that plunge, I will certainly send you a DM there, Dragon. So absolutely, yeah. Let's see here. If there's anything else in the PC news world today that we need to be talking about. I didn't see any other big bombshells or anything. I did see that Blizzard is kind of going off the deep end on like removing uh anything that could even be considered like PG in World of Warcraft, like the dances and the flirt emotes and all this stuff. It's like, is it just me or are they overcompensating for like all the issues that they had with their company by stripping content out of their games um, as kind of a knee-jerk reaction thing? Excuse me, because um, I don't think that people really had a problem with stuff like the the flirt emojis or the flirt emotes or whatever, and stuff like that. And they took down certain paintings that were in World of Warcraft, like on the walls and stuff, because they said they were overly sexualized in a cartoon game. I mean, so this is why I call them Blizzard. Oh yeah, no, I think you're right, Dragon. Activision Blizzard took the trophy from EA about being the worst company. I think the gaming company. Bethesda was in the running there. Don't forget, Bethesda was in the running with Fallout 76 and then they had a string of bullshit that they were going through too. And I think Bethesda kind of like right now is kind of like, whew, thank goodness Blizzard Activision's fucking up left and right, because they're kind of Blizzard's or Bethesda's out of the limelight now, So, you feel like you beat New World in the beta. Well, I did in the beta. I think I only got to level 16. So yeah, EA is like there. Yeah, and Bethesda, Fallout 76. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but Fallout 76 is definitely making a comeback. They've done some major updates that have um, fixed a lot in that game, and the content is there now. As far as like where the original game didn't have any NPCs in it. It's all the world's all full of NPCs again. There's all kinds of content, and people are having a blast at it. So they've kind of redeemed themselves a little bit. But like you're saying down there, uh, Starfield, yeah, that's going to be the test. Um, Witcher 3 remake has. Why are they remaking Witcher 3? Are they actually doing that? I haven't heard that. Um, I had not heard that at all. So CD Projekt Red has a lot to redeem themselves for with Cyberpunk 2077 because I mean I'm sure that a lot of it's been fixed, but there wasn't enough that I read to make me go back and try it again. Um, I will at some point, I'm sure, want to go back and try Cyberpunk again, but uh, that left a horrible taste in my mouth. So, new gen hardware upgrade for Witcher 3. I'll be damned. Okay. Um, yeah. Again, though, do you trust them after Cyberpunk with the fiasco that they went through with that? I mean, they were the last company that we all trusted, right? That everybody like was completely because after Witcher 3 was one of the best games ever made, and it always seemed like they listened to their customers, and so you know, uh, then Cyberpunk came out and they just dashed everybody's hopes and dreams. You know, yeah. See, that's what I would be thinking, Mistra, is if they were going to start doing remakes of the Witcher series, start with the first one. That's the oldest. Start remake that to third, to new edition hardware and everything, and then yeah, I mean, some of us are just gonna. It doesn't matter. Some of us, like when I say I'm a collector's edition moron, me, like with here's a prime example. So I was talking about this book that this guy John Peterson wrote, right? That well, he also wrote this. He also wrote the Art and Arcana of Dungeons and Dragons, a visual history. And this is a gigantic tome. This is, of course, the collector's edition that has all kinds of extra shit in it, other than just the book. But to your point, that's how I am. Like I was buying collector's editions of every World of Warcraft expansion up until the last one, and that was only because the snipers, the fucking eBay snipers, bought all of them out. But I was still giving my money to Blizzard. I think uh, it took this last complete implosion of them to finally break my habit of buying Blizzard shit, giving them my money, but it was a lot. It took a lot for them to break me. So it's like when people, like Witcher 4, I would buy it too, so. All right, well, we're at 35 minutes, and I know the wife is going to be bugging me. She's going to want me to go up and watch some TV with her, and got to do that. Got to spend time. Got to spend family time. That's it's important. Yeah. See, you're going to get me on a tangent there about these damn snipers, and I can't. You can blame the snipers that buy all these things up and then resell them at these exorbitant prices. But who you really got to blame is you got to blame the companies producing them, because when they intentionally know that they're going to sell millions of copies of something or whatever, and they don't produce anywhere near that, they know that they're going to be creating a secondary market. And somebody in my gaming group, I think it was, said, hey, what if the companies are in on it? What if Sony makes a certain number, knowing that there's going to be way more demand than that, and then they have snipers out there buying them to resell them on the secondary market to make more profit? Who's to say they're not? You know, because that's what Blizzard did with the World of Warcraft collector's editions. They know the demand that they had for those for every expansion, and they never seemed to make enough to to where the snipers didn't buy them and start reselling them. So and New World, it's a different kind of a different thing, but it's like these companies all say, oh, we had no idea that there'd be this much interest. Like New World put out that stupid press release saying, oh, we were overwhelmed by the interest in our game, and that's why our servers couldn't handle it. And it's like, you fucking morons. You're Amazon, and you own all the servers in the world for the most part. Whoever the person in charge should have said, well, hey Bob or hey Lily or whatever, how much are we expecting, to sell of this? And how many games do we think we're going to have where people are going to be trying to get online? Oh, we're going to need 400 servers. Okay, you know what? Make it 800 servers. That way we know we won't run out. Or what? I mean, they could have done something like that. And then if they didn't need them, they just release them back into the wild or wherever the fuck they do with the servers. It's like, but they didn't do that. Well, yeah, right now they don't have enough chips, but when the PS5 was first being produced, when it was first, that was, if I correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was before COVID, and I don't know that there was a chip shortage then. When the initial, you know, uh, development and production of those started. Now I could be wrong, but um, yeah, I mean, I think it could be a combination of the two. It could be these snipers that are opportunists and everything, but who's to say the companies aren't somewhat involved to try and say, hey, we're selling these things for $599, but we know we're going to have, say, 20 million that we need, and let's say we produce 15 million, that we're 5 million short. There's going to be this crazy demand. Why not? Why don't we throw the other 5 million onto eBay and sell them at $8.99? I mean, who's to say they don't do that shit? Who knows? You know? Well, yeah, I mean, I hate the scalpers too. When I went on, what was it I was looking for? God damn, there was something recently that came out, and of course I missed the boat on it. I can't remember what it was, and somebody was selling them for, damn, I can't remember what it was, but somebody was selling. They had a scalper on it, and it said like 58 sold already, and there was still like, I think there was still like 40 something still available, but they'd already sold like 58 of them. So it's like they bought 100 of them, and it's like, yeah, that's bullshit. So who knows? I mean, bottom line is that it's us consumers, the ones that they should be trying to please. We're the ones, like with the PS5. If you get that, maybe I'm crazy, but if you get them in the hands of more gamers, make them available for more gamers. Now I know there's a chip shortage, but if they had produced them from the get-go, a shit ton to meet demand at the beginning, I don't think they would be in this big of a problem, because the chip shortage happened afterwards, I think. And then they were playing catch up because they didn't produce enough at the beginning. And then when they started playing catch up, now there was a chip shortage, and there's the shipping problem on top of that, the supply chain problem. But if they had produced enough at the beginning, I don't think they would have put themselves behind the 8 ball. So they just use a bot. I believe that. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, if there's any other topics you want to talk about real quick, throw them out there. Otherwise, I'm going to call it and go have TV time with the wife. And Wow. 116 million PS4 units were sold and 10 million of PS5. So that proves my point right there. If they knew that they had 116 million PS4 users, and let's say they expected 75% of them to want to upgrade, which is probably a decent number, take 75% of 116 million, and that's how many goddamn units they should have had ready to ship I mean, how long were they working on the PS5? They knew they were working on it for years, and they could have had the factories said, hey, when we get ready to hit say go, you're going to produce 70 million of these goddamn things or whatever. Yeah. So they didn't, the fact that they only made 10 million. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That was what my point was. And of course, then they can say, oh, well, now there's a chip shortage. Well, yeah, now there is, but maybe there wouldn't have been if you'd, like you said, if you had produced, say, 70 million, 60 or 70 million instead of 10 million, produce 60 or 70 million at the beginning. And that leads me to, were they part of the issue with trying to sell them on the secondary market at a double profit margin, or who knows? So, but the other point was, if they get them into the hands of people, like let's say they were able to do 60 or 70 million at the beginning instead of 10 million, how many more games would they have sold? Because people that don't have the fucking PS5 aren't going to buy PS5 games because they can't play them. So to me, it would behoove, like if it was me saying, okay, we had 116 million PS4 users, let's pump out 60 million to start with, because we guarantee we're going to sell all those. And then that's 60 million people out there that are going to want to buy games. I mean, maybe my math's fucked up, but that seems like it makes sense to me that you're going to sell more games, which is probably where more of the profit is anyway than the hardware. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go 45 minutes on this one. And it's been fun, though. Every time we do one of these, I have a blast. Yeah, I don't blame him, White Rhino. I don't blame him one bit of going and getting it. I have a PS3, and I never upgraded to the PS4 because when I was getting ready to, they were already talking about the PS5, and I'm like, well, shit, I'll just wait. Well, now can't get a PS5, so I'm thinking, well, fuck it. I'm not going to give them any money for a PS4. I don't play consoles that much anyway. I'll see about getting an Xbox. What is it, Xbox One X? Which, let's not even get started on the whole Xbox naming. Their theory on naming. Xbox One, Xbox. They didn't even like PS. At least they went PS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, PS6 exactly. Might as well just fucking wait for the PS6 now, right? Hey, can we pre-order those now? Maybe we can pre-order one now, and we might get one when they fucking finally release in 2025. That might be the way to go. Piss on it. Screw PS5. We're never going to get one anyway. So let's just pre-order PS6s right now. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do like 2 of these a week, 2 lives a week on top of my whatever other videos I end up doing. So, you guys are a blast. The crazy uncle. Hey, that's me. Everybody says I'm the crazy uncle. Somebody's using my moniker there. Because I never had kids, but so apparently, at family gathering stuff, I'm the crazy uncle, So, all right, guys, we're out. We'll see you next time. Catch you on the flip side.